Do you want to position yourself for a strategic leadership role at work? Where should you even begin? Get the roadmap on this episode of Workplace Whispers with Dr. Ogunlowo.
I'm at a point in my career where I'm no longer just executing tasks. I want to be seen as someone who can solve bigger problems, contribute direction, and lead initiatives, but I'm not sure how to build that path. So, what is one deep work habit I can build to show that I am ready for strategic leadership roles? That's the question this person is asking.
First, you have to even have the framework. You can't say you are ready for strategic leadership role when you have not built yourself in even understanding what is even strategy. How do you conceive it? How do you analyze? What frameworks do you know? How are you able to look at something and put it within the context of your own organization? So to be ready for something means you are prepared. So preparedness precedes readiness. So how can you be ready means you have to ask yourself, what are the necessary skills? What are the necessary technical competencies that I must have that will show? Because you can't be ready for something just because you said it. You are ready for it because you are prepared for it. So what have you done to prepare yourself? Have you taken a 3-month MBA course? Not necessarily anywhere, but even in your own home, watching YouTubes and reading and all of that. Have you participated in mock, assessments of business? Have you watched anything on TV to look at how businesses fail and how they succeed? Yeah. Have you read about books of people who are in the line in which you want to now become known as being ready? What have you done? What exactly can you point to show that you're taking conscious efforts to be ready for this role? So if you don't do all of that, you might be having a wishful thinking that I wish I could do this or I'm ready for this, but without taking those steps, you can't be ready.
I'm talking about books. We hear this recurring, thing everywhere. Books, and they say if you want to hide something from an African, but I'm sure none of them listening at home put it in a book. So I'm just very curious when it comes to books and an employee, what type of books do you think? Is there any book?
I can't recommend any books for anybody because I don't know what your desires are. I don't know what areas of competencies you want to build. I don't know what weaknesses you want to overcome. I don't know what it is, right? If you ask me now, what books am I reading? I'll tell you I'm reading primary school books, nursery school books. Why? Because I'm learning a language, a foreign language, right? And so at this level, at this point, it's now about, okay, you've learned it in class, you've learned it, but if you can read, don't forget that you started reading from nursery, right? So even if you are studying a second language today, irrespective of the age you are, if you go and pick a university textbook, you would not help yourself in advancing your career. Not career, your skill. So I'm reading nursery school books. So if you ask me what book should I read, I'll say the book that is relevant to where you are. That's the important thing. And there are lots of books out there. Some of them are written by people who have not even experienced what they are writing the book on. So if you want to read book, I can say there are guidelines on books, right? I can give you somebody writes about prosperity, right? 10 laws of prosperity as an example. But the person doesn't have a car.
Maybe it's writing futuristic.
Or advancement in career. People have, and there are people who have achieved, who have written, right? I agree. But there are a whole lot of people out there. The fact that you are a priest or an imam or this doesn't make you an expert on certain things. It could make you an expert on the spiritual principles of those things. But those spiritual principles, you might not have put them into practice yourself. So if you're learning about something, you should learn from those who have done it. Or who have experienced it, or who have prepared themselves for it and even have failed at it, because they can then share with you
failure stories.
So the fact that somebody, look, you can write a book about how you failed. Because somebody else reading it learns about the things you did that led to failure and things not to do to not fail. So it's not all the time that it should be that the book is really about 25 success principles or this.
How to get rich in 7 days.
No, it could just simply be my 7 attempts at success that never happened.
That's a good book title.
And somebody
I'm sure someone's going to pick that up.
Well, don't forget you can send your career and workplace questions, and we will tackle them on our Q&A episodes of Workplace Whispers with Dr. Ogunlowo.